Hello students, today we're going to go over identifying parts of an algebraic expression. It's basically vocabulary, and there's 6 vocabularies. So the first one is algebraic expression. It's an expression that contains at least one term, one operation, and at least one variable. So here is an example of an algebraic expression. Now the next one is term. What are terms? Term is a part of an algebraic expression that are separated by addition or subtraction. So if I look at this expression, I see an addition and a subtraction. So that means my term will be 6, then it will be 2x, and finally negative 4x. Now, why is it negative 4x? Because we know that whenever we have a subtraction problem, we can change it to an addition, and that 4x becomes negative 4x. So that's why the term is negative 4x. So my first term is 6, then it's 2x, then it's negative 4x. So that's why this one has 3 terms. What are my like terms? My like terms are terms that have the same variable and same exponent. So 2x is my like term, and negative 4x is my like term. So make sure you include the negative if it's a negative. What are my variables? Variable is a number represent an unknown number represented by a letter. So that means x is my variable. What is my constant? Constant is a new vocabulary, is the value that does not change, the number that stands by itself. So if I look at this expression, the number that it's on its own is 6. So that's why my constant is 6. What is coefficient? Coefficient is a number that is multiplied by the variable. Is a number that is in front of the variable. So if I look at my variable, I see a 2 in front of it, and then I see that negative 4 is in front of another variable. So that's why my coefficient is 2 and negative 4. And do not include the variable because that will be considered wrong. The next one, I have negative 4c minus 4 plus c minus 3. So my terms is basically negative 4c is my first term, negative 4 is my second term, c is my third term, and then finally negative 3 is my last term. So here I have 4 terms because they're separated by subtraction and addition. What are my like terms? My like terms is negative 4c and c. And then I have another set of like terms, which is negative 4 and negative 3. So make sure you include any if you have more than one like terms. Variables, what are the variables that we're using? Is c. What is my constant? Constant is the number by itself. Here I see that negative 4 is by itself, but I also see that negative 3 is by itself. So this one has 2 constant, which is negative 4 and negative 3. And then coefficient, what is the number that is in front of the variable? So negative 4 is one of them, and also c, this one right here, I know that there's a 1 there, so I have to include 1. So my coefficient is negative 4 comma 1. So make sure you don't include the variable because that will be wrong. Okay, negative 4 and 1 should be your coefficient. And then the last set of problem, and you're going to have something similar to that, like that. So basically, you're using the expression. The first question is, how many terms does the expression have? Well, I have 1 term, 2 terms right here, and then 3 terms, and then the last one right here. So that means I have 4 terms. So you will just write 4 terms because it's asking how many terms. Like terms. I have an A, a B, a C, and then the negative 3. So I see that there's no like terms. So that means you can just write no like terms because there's no like terms. What is my coefficient? Coefficient is the number that is in front of the variable. So I know that 3 is my coefficient, negative 5 is my coefficient, and then this 1 that is in front of C. So then you're going to list it. 3 comma negative 5 comma 1 because of that C. And do not include the variable because then it will be considered wrong. What is my constant? My constant is the number that it's in that stands by itself. So what number is by itself? Negative 3. And there's only one of them, so you just write negative 3. And then finally, what are my variables? The variables that we're using is A, B, and C. So those will be my variables. Okay, so hopefully this will be helpful.